So we are on this factor or worksheet factoring trinomials within our packet. You guys have done or should have done questions 1 through 15. So we're going to start with 16. Anybody know what we need to do first on question 16? Or what I could do first on question 16? Find the GCF. Awesome, guys. Okay, so my GCF, the biggest thing that goes into 2, 20, and 32. What would the GCF of 2, 20, and 32 be? 2. So I'm going to take out 2. When I divide all those numbers by 2, what do I have left? Good. So then I can crisscross it, right? So I'm looking for 2 numbers that multiply to, and those 2 numbers also have to add to what? Awesome. So what 2 numbers multiply to 16 but add to 10? 8 and 2. So I have 2 out front. We're going to leave that 2 out front. Make sure you have that 2 out front. And then parentheses, 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 parentheses. What goes in the first set? Yep. And then the second set? Yep. And could I flip those parentheses around and have x plus 2 first and x plus 8 second? Yes. That would be just fine. Because of the placement of my paper, let's just do 20 real quick. First step on 20. GCF it again. What is it? 2 again. Divide everything out, or divide everything by 2. If I divide everything by 2, what am I left with? Awesome. Very good. Crisscross it. When I multiply, I want. When I add, I want. So what 2 numbers multiply to negative 16 but add to a positive 8? What are my factor pairs of 16? Let's start there. What times what equals 16? 2 and what? Not 2 and 4. Yep, there you go. And then 4 and 4. 1 and 16, right? Well, I think 4 and 4 is the only combination that would give me 8 somehow, right? But for 4 and 4 to get me 8, they would both have to be positive. So does 4 and 4 work here? Why does it not work? Right, because that 16 is a negative, and if I do 4 times 4, we get a positive. So this one actually does not factor any further. This right here would be your answer. And every once in a while, that is what happens, and that's okay. 19, what's my GCF on 19? What do I have left? X squared plus 4x minus what? 12. Crisscross it. When I multiply, I what? When I add, I what? What 2 numbers multiply to negative 12 but add to 4? Negative what? Negative 2 and positive 6. Awesome. 2 out front. X minus 2. X plus 6. Very, very good, guys. Box around it. A little problem. Yep. Number 18, first step. What's my GCF? What is my GCF here? When I divide by 3 on everything, what do I get? Crisscross 6, negative 5. Ooh. What would that be? Negative 2, negative 3. Would 6 and 1 work? So if I put 6 here, I guess it would be a negative 6 and a positive 1, right? To give me this negative 5. Does that work too? Yep, because when I multiplied that, I would get a negative 6. So that one actually would not work. Okay? So, rewrite this. 3 GCF, x minus 2, x minus 3. Any questions on that? Okay, take out that sheet that you picked up on your way in. Okay, let's do number 1. Oh, this is not the sheet you picked up on the way in. That's an old sheet. Where's the sheet you picked up on the way in? There it is. Okay, sorry about that. Factor when a equals 1, GCF. So, number 1, what should I do first? What should I do? Yep, GCF 2. When I take out that 2, what am I left with? So divide everything by 2. Minus 54. So on your calculator, if you don't know what that is, you take 108 and you divide by 2, and that's where that 54 comes from. Now I can crisscross it. When I multiply, I want negative 54. Yep, and when I add, I want 3. So you can look, if you have a hard time with factors, you would look at your multiplication grid sheet that I gave you guys on Friday. There may be more back there or somewhere. Oh, they're right over here if you need that again. And so you're going to look in the box for 54, and you're going to see what multiplies to 54, but then do those two numbers add or subtract to 3 somehow? What would it be? 9 and negative 6 is correct. So I get 2 parentheses, n plus 9, n minus 6. Questions on that? Okay, I want you to skip down to something called a difference of squares, number 7. How does number 7 look different than the ones that we've been typically completing? It doesn't have 3 terms, right? Which term is it missing? The first one, the middle, or the last? The middle. So this is how we actually write these. Ax squared plus bx plus c. If you notice, your middle term is A, B, and C are all numbers. They represent numbers, okay? B is my middle term. It has just an x. That is the term we're missing, right? So what would be B? What's the value of B in this situation? Do we have 1x? We have 0 x's. So your value of B is 0. So when I crisscross it, I can still crisscross. What number would go on top? Negative 9. So when I multiply, I want negative 9. But what number would go on bottom? 0, because there is no B. So no in math is 0, right? So now I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 9, but when we add them, they cancel each other out and we're back to 0. What would that be? 3 and negative 3. They're always going to be opposites. This is a perfect square number. 9 is a perfect square because 3 times 3 is 9, right? What are some other perfect square numbers? 25 is. 81 is. 49 is. 100 is. 121. 4, right? All those are perfect squares. So now we just write this as x plus 3, x minus 3. Order doesn't matter, right? And that's your answer. And that's how you do those difference of square ones down below. We call them difference of square because if you notice, we are subtracting in each of these. And your last number is a square number. 100 is a square. 49 is a square. 25 is a square. 169 is a square. And 81 is a square number. Okay? What you're doing right now is you're finishing this page. And you're asking questions when you have them. Yes? Uh-huh. Yes. Uh-huh. Not on this one? Did you say 25? Yes. Yep, that's all it is.